Around a month ago I published a video introducing the Tree of Life and dealing with its pillars. A bit later that was followed by another focusing on its three triads. Building on those, this one examines the last major grouping inside the glyph, the four Qabalistic worlds. While the pillars depict the balance between opposing forces and the triads, planes of existence, the worlds represent the parts or layers of divinity and the human soul. As mentioned in one of the former videos, this series briefly touch on the subject they examine. Hence, getting a deeper grasp requires further researching things on your own. With this said, watch the previous videos if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel if you're enjoying this type of content. Consider purchasing my book if wanting to support me, and let's begin. Attributions. The first to note here is that sometimes the worlds are discerned in different ways. One is by attributing them to the three triangle system. In that case, the first three worlds basically match the triangles. In others, Keter alone or Keter and Chokmah make the first, Binah the second, and Hesed, Geburah, Tiferet, Hod, Netzach and Yesod the third. Whatever the case, two things remain the same. 1. Sphere 10 Malkut always represents the fourth world, and 2. The worlds have the same sets of correspondences. Not locations in space, the worlds are levels or planes of consciousness. Represented by the tetragrammaton Yod-Heh Vav-Heh, they are also the four alchemical elements, the tetramorph and the four cherubic beasts, the fourfold zodiacal signs classification, and the four suits of the tarot. Operating in a hierarchy, the topmost rules that below, which rules the one under to rule the bottommost. Atziluth. The highest in the hierarchy, the first world is called Atziluth or that of Emanations. Regarded as the archetypal, it is said that it holds the 10 segments of divinity. Its correspondences include the ones of the tarot and the fire element and zodiacal triplicity. It's considered that Atziluth is where the male and female aspects of the divine are in perfect unity. On a macrocosmic level, this is the divine will. Within the human soul, it is the Kia or life force that is one's highest part. Entirely abstract, Atziluth is comprised of archetypes that are way beyond the grasp of the day-to-day consciousness. Also seen as the most spiritual segment of a force or subject, it is colored in red and represented by the Yod of Yod-Heh Vav-Heh, Briah or Briah. Right below Atziluth, there is the world of creation. Called Briah or Briah, this is said to be where the archangels dwell and the throne of divinity. The world of Briah corresponds to the water element and zodiacal triplicity and the cups in the tarot. More tangible than Atziluth, this world is where ideas are conceived. Macrocosmically, Briah or Briah could be perceived as the heart of the divine. In the human soul, it is the neshama to be one's high intuition, deeper or spiritual superconsciousness and the self in Jungian terms. Transcending the ego's daily strives and desires, it is one source of spiritual empowerment and awareness of true will. Colored in blue, Briah is attributed to the first hair of the tetragrammaton, Yetzirah or Yetzirah. Underneath Briah, there's the world of Yetzirah to be regarded as that of formation. Home of angels carrying divine commands, the formative world corresponds to the air element and zodiacal triplicity and the swords in the tarot. This is where everything becomes more specific. Assigned to one of the spheres in this world, the mentioned angels have particular functions. Yetzirah is referred to as deity's mind's eye. In terms of the human soul, on the other hand, it is the ruach to be one's daily consciousness and domain of the intellect, imagination, conceptualization, etc. More specifically, it holds the central waking ego self of the human personality. Carrying preferences, i.e. likes, dislikes, etc. That is the part that identifies itself as the I and even the total self. Everything that is of the daily mind is in this world. Including emotions, thoughts and feelings, this part needs to perceive us as separate beings to interact with the outer world. It governs our relationships with other people, interplaying with other ruachs. It is also the parent of the nefesh to be the realm below. Colored in yellow, Yetzirah is allotted to vow in Yod-Heh Vav-Heh. Assiah or Assiah. Being the bottommost, Assiah is the world of action. It represents the physical reality in which the four elements and our daily lives exist. It corresponds to the earth element and zodiacal signs and the tarot suit of discs or pentacles. Assiah is the place where manifestation occurs. it is formed to the three hara worlds crystallization and distortion. Besides the material world and all its possessions and concerns, it is also the nefesh part of one's soul. Being one's animal soul and child self, the nefesh includes all basic instincts like those for sex, food, etc. Also, the autonomic nervous system and the astral body. In Jungian terms, the nefesh corresponds to the personal unconscious, carrying unconscious contents unique to the person, those being things like suppressed memories and others. Colored in green, the world of Assiah is allotted to the second and final hair of the tetragrammaton, Emanations. Now, after covering all four, comes the time for what likely is the most fun part of this whole concept. That's the fact that each of these planes is a tree containing its own Sephiroth and worlds. Identically, within each Sephirah, there is also a full-fledged tree with the worlds and everything. While through this the entire tree explains everything, by including and being connected with all others, each of its parts does the very same, showing how everything contains everything else. And this, I believe, is best expressed in the whole organization of the tarot, but that is a subject calling for a different post. So, as mentioned at the video's beginning, subscribe to this channel if enjoying this type of content and click on that bell to get notified whenever I upload a video. Also consider purchasing my book Omad Gains if wanting to support me. Thank you for your time.